I really did not look at your whole body. I was just here to pick guavas. Please let me go. 18 years old Maya had received a dare to pick guavas from that bungalow, and then she snuck inside through the balcony. Rude Damon Vince, who just about to unwrap his bath towel, stepped towards her in anger. Am I looking hot to you? Can you tolerate me, baby girl? Holding her waist in his grip and pulling her into his arms against his bare chest, he made her turn bright red with embarrassment. Let me go. Sobbing, she ran away from there. But a few days later, during stormy weather, she entered his room once again, crept into his bed, and clung to his chest. Save me, uncle is outside. Seeing her nodding head, he captured her lips and began showering his intensity upon her. After showering intensity on her lips for a few moments, he dominated her neck, clamping the skin of her neck between his lips and leaving marks everywhere. He forced her to feel shy. Whenever he started loving her, he loved like this, moving from her neck to placing his lips over her heartbeat and feeling them thoroughly. He shifted his lips beneath her shirt onto her side where a tiny life was breathing. When Maya suddenly let out a scream as she felt a kick. Hearing her scream, he burst into laughter while Maya glared angrily at him as he laughed charmingly. My princess is already dominating her mama. Placing his lips all over her abdomen, he made her giggle as well. Maya's entire body glowed from his warm touch when I am telling you beforehand that whoever gets it there will have to complete it. Hannah said while warning everyone with her eyes, and all of them immediately nodded in agreement. All right then, let us start. Saying this triumphantly, she spun the bottle forcefully until it stopped pointing towards Zack. Seeing the bottle point at him, he shouted that he was not playing and called it a conspiracy while asking someone to call his partner. Zack called for his partner who was inside making tea for her aunt. Hey Maya, come out quickly. How much time will you take? Hearing the partner's name, Hannah felt sympathy for the poor girl, who was busy making tea for her mother. I am coming, just vibe everyone out until I arrive. Hearing them call her name, Maya called out from the kitchen while Hannah raised her eyebrow at Jack. Until Maya comes, I will not play because this is cheating. He spoke in a childish, stubborn tone, stamping his feet on the floor, making everyone glare at him angrily. You are cheating because you know it is your turn, and now you are trying to wait by using Maya's name? But nothing like that will happen, Chloe said while winking at him. Now, and Zack felt like smashing this troublemaker head. She's here. What happened? Brushing her hands together, Maya came and sat down on the floor, forming a lap, making everyone laugh. Her cute expression was everyone's favorite face. Hey, this Zack's turn come, but he is not agreeing, Chloe said with tearful eyes while Maya glared at him. Please play again. Zack's tone was pleading, and seeing them all in silence, she nodded her head. As she nodded, he jumped, shouted, Yahoo, let's start. Hannah spun the bottle again, which once more stopped pointing and Zack. A million curses on you, cursed woman, he said to the bottle, but the bottle was not a woman, right? Thinking this, Hannah took his words to heart. Before she could end the game and leave Maya silenced everyone. I will spin it. Getting up, she spun the bottle properly and released it, and once again the bottle stopped at Zack's. Everyone's laughter erupted. Truth or dare? Ignoring his helpless look, Hannah asked seriously, and Zack cast pleading eyes on everyone, but nobody felt pity for him. I will take dare. He knew if he chose truth, these people would extract information about all his past and future generations, so he peacefully chose dare while a devilish spark shone in Hannah's eyes. Upon his choice, son, now see what I do with you. She spoke deeply in her heart while Zack was now waiting for his death. He knew these people were not going to give any normal talks because they did not consider him a normal human. Come on, son, come here now. As much as you have humiliated us today, it's your turn now. Get up and go into the washroom to act like a rooster and then make a video reel of it and post it on every social media account. Hannah clapped her hand and cheered with joy while Zack vital organs like jumping out. What nonsense, I'm not playing. He immediately tried to get up from his spot while shaking his head in denial as Maya and Chloe grabbed his leg in a failed effort to stop him. If you do not complete this dare, I will upload all the embarrassing pictures, after which you will not be able to show your face to anyone. Chloe joined the conversation this time, making Zack want to murder both these instigators. Will you also do this to me, Maya? Zack had only Maya left as his last resort, but when Maya also showed him a green flag and turned her face away, he stomped his feet on the ground and moved inside stubbornly. While behind him, three loud bursts of laughter echoed naturally. Shortly after, they saw him coming back towards them while his face was decorated with immense rage. How cute our Zack looks! That burning voice belonged to Hannah. Hey, do not call him Zack. Call him a rooster, or rather a peacock. Chloe hit this arm while trying to control her laughter with a reddened face, making it impossible for Maya to hold her back laughter. Will you people continue playing or should I remove everything? Seeing them pull his leg, he exploded in anger. So they laughed and continued the game. Now, next was Chloe's turn, while Zack was silent, meaning Zack was not giving her a dare. Had already given one to Zack, so Maya was left. Maya asked her. Hannah said, looking at her, and she nodded. Tell me truth or dare. Maya's tone was filled with excitement. Mine will definitely be dare. Your truth are very dangerous. Her tone was full of innocence, and hearing her words, they laugh against their will. Fine, then it is not a big task, just do all my chores for today. Shrugging her shoulders comfortably, she dumped all her chores onto her while Hannah and Zack gave each other high fives and laughed. This is wrong. She protested, but the opinion was is no more to listen to anything. Go to hell, you people do not even know how to play. Seeing that they were not falling for her words, she spoke in anger, making everyone burst out laughing again. Next time was Maya's turn, on which Chloe thought of taking her revenge and looked deeply at the neighboring bungalow. Truth or dare? Chloe asked with deep seriousness, and seeing such a serious face, it became hard for Maya to choose. I will take truth because what secrets do I have buried that will extract? While she was still thinking, Chloe cleared her throat, reading her mind. You take truth since nobody took it anyway. She knew if she told her to take truth, she would choose dare, and as expected, was it exactly what happened. As soon as she chose dare, Chloe's eyes sparkled. It has been many days since my eyes have been set on those guavas. Go and bring those guavas for me. Pointing towards the adjacent bungalow, she spoke, making the eyes of Maya and everyone else widen. Have you lost your mind? Do you know how precious the owner of that bungalow is? I'm not going. Maya refused, flatly placing her hand on her heart, but all of them forced her until accepting defeat and taking the name of God. He set her step towards that bungalow. After 1,000 efforts, she finally succeeded in scaling the wall of that bungalow. Standing on the wall, it seemed not just difficult but impossible to pick guavas from there. Just then, looking at the balcony, her eyes sparkled. Besides, it was evening time and all men would be in their respective offices right now. Thinking this, she advanced her step towards the balcony. The moment she stepped into the balcony, she took a deep breath of relief since picking guavas from there was extremely easy for her. After picking quite a lot of guavas, she filled them into her scarf and loaded it over her shoulder while looking for a way out, but finding no path anywhere. She held her head involuntarily. She had managed to enter, but how would she leave? Climbing that wall with a burden of guavas from that balcony was impossible. Where has this daughter of Chloe trapped me? Thinking in a tearful tone, she moved her step towards the room attached to balcony when her eyes fell on the man standing in front of her. Involuntarily, a scream escaped her lips while Damon Vance, who had just stepped out of the shower, widened his eyes, seeing a young girl in his room. The towel that he was about to unwrap and take off was wrapped tightly around his body the very next moment. So sorry, uncle, I really did not see any of your hot body. Placing her hand on her neck. Innocently, she spoke in a soft tone, looking at him, which increased the creases on Damien Vance's forehead. If you did not see it, then how do you know my body is hot? Stepping towards her with a raised eyebrow, he asked, making her utterly confused. Please let me go. She was on the verge of tears. She had no idea that all she would collide with this person. Why should I let you go? What is the reason? Taking step after step toward her, he was trailing the life out of her. With whose permission did you step into my bungalow? This time his tone was cold. Me, this guavas. She directed his attention toward the guavas while he pursued his lips in an understanding manner. Did you come to steal? Asking in a deep voice, he began enjoying her pale complexion while at his words. Maya shook her head forcefully with a dying face. Then, watching her head shaking in denial, he quickly took a step forward, placed his hands on her waist, and lifting her up, locked her in his embrace. If he had not held her tightly in his grip, she would have fallen down badly in her carelessness. Feeling herself in the air, she began screaming loudly while hearing her scream. Damien anxiously pressed his hand on her lips and showed her his fierce eyes. Have you lost your mind? Why are you screaming? Looking at her, he hissed near her ear, making her almost faint out of fear. Let me go, I will never come again, she said, weeping, and Damien felt an overwhelming affection for her innocence. I will let you go on one condition. If you come like this every day and call me and my body hot. Whispering near her ear, he rubbed the tip of his nose against her earlobe, making her tongue bright red as a burning ember. She was young, but not so young that she could not understand the meaning of his words. You are very vulgar. Placing both her hands on his bare chest, she pushed him backward, throwing him onto the bed in a pushing manner. While she opened the door and ran outside, the moment she went down, Damien's shattering laughter decorated the room. Adjusting his stays, he came and stood on the balcony, watching her as she stood ready to fight with the guard. I am telling you to open the door, can you not hear? After you boss, my command will rule here. She was boldly dominating his guard, completely unaware that he was listening to all her words. Let the lady go. Seeing the guard arm back, he spoke sternly in a slightly loud voice, making Maya feel like a dying of shame. Rarely in her life had she faced so much embarrassment as she had faced today. Yes, sir. The next moment, the guard opened the door, giving her way while bowing his neck as all other staff members looked in astonishment at the girl who had emerged from their boss's room with a massive load of guavas. The moment the door opened, she ran faster than a stray dog, crossing the threshold of the bungalow. As soon as she left, he was again looked at the sky and burst into laughter. It was the first time in his life he had seen such a girl who was not only full of life and joyful nature but also extremely clever. I did not even ask her name. Suddenly remembering her name, he hit his hand against his forehead, pursing his lip in oh shit manner. No matter now, we will keep meeting Miss Enchantress. Addressing her in his thought, he spoke with a faint smile on his lips, having casually bestowed the title of Enchantress upon her. Yes, she was indeed an Enchantress who had cast her spell on him in a single moment. Soon I will bring you into my captivity. You did not do well by playing with my heart. You made my heart rebellious and you will have to pay the penalty for it. Remembering her innocent face, he spoke in a whisper with deep gravity, completely unaware that she herself was about to come to him. Curse you all. That man was at home. I swear I escaped with such great difficulty. Entering the house, she threw her scarf full of guavas over Chloe's head and roared loudly while Chloe gathered her guavas with a mischievous smile. Did he say anything to you then? Zack asked eagerly, stepping towards her while she compressed her lips and shook her head in denial. I just told him that I got a dare and to let me go, but he started talking weird things. I just told him that I do get a dare and to let me go, but he started talking weird things that I could not understand, so I pushed him back and ran away. She comfortably narrated the whole incident to them and finally dropped onto the sofa with a third. Just great. Made this princess do such work. Is this what your parents taught you before leaving? They taught you wicked things like a devil and left this trouble around our necks. Aunt Sarah, who had just arrived there, heard her last word and started off as usual while seeing their mother's harsh form. Everyone gradually slip away from there. Chloe grabbed her arm, wanting to lift her up as she sat silently, listening to all this from her aunt's mouth. Get up, you stubborn girl, I know it has no effect on you. Coming close to her ear, she spoke, seeing her frozen in place while Maya showed her teeth looking at her and moved away from there at a speed even faster than Chloe, making her feel dizzy. She had stayed there because of this girl, and what wretched girl had left her there and vanished. Whatever happens to you is right and you deserve it. Love never suits you anyway. Speaking angrily, she followed her step behind her while the aunt scolding was still going. Once started speaking, it was the hardest task in the world to make her quiet. This was a small yet beautiful suburban house built on a modest lot in which Aunt Sarah lived with her three children, a niece, and a husband. Her husband, Uncle Arthur, had earned quite well for a lifetime, providing prosperous life for her and their children. But then his company shifted to bad people and he started sitting with evil companions. Because of his carelessness, the business sank day by day until one day he ended up completely empty handed. Uncle Arthur and Aunt Sarah had three children. The eldest daughter was Hannah, followed by Zack, and finally Chloe. Apart from them, their brother's daughter Maya lived with them as well. Her mother and father had passed away in an accident due to which Maya became the sole heir to her father's property. That was the reason Aunt Sarah brought her to their house. The husband did not earn, so Maya was the only one keeping their household running. Meanwhile, Uncle Arthur had no become addicted to substances and gambling. Not a day passed without his addiction and money, which was why his conditions was deteriorating day by day. Aunt Sarah intended to make Maya her daughter-in-law and transfer all the property to her son's name. However, Maya and Zack considered each other good friends. They had no such intention and were both still quite young. Yet Aunt Sarah kept planting this thought in their minds, to which neither Zack nor Maya paid attention because they did not want to ruin their lives by focusing on this relation. Seeing them ignore it, Aunt Sarah burned with frustration internally. Today someone looks very happy. What is the matter, brother? Sitting in his office, he was smiling while thinking about the scene when Samuel entered the office and seeing his smile blew off any evil eye while whispering praise to God. Come on, put an evil eye on me now. Seeing his thoughts interrupted, he was thoroughly displeased. Tell me the truth, what were you thinking about while smiling? Pulling a chair opposite him, he sat down and asked secretively while Damien glared at him. You will never stop taking interest in gossip, you will? When will you leave these feminine habits? Glaring at him, he spoke sarcastically, making Samuel scream inside. Have you no shame humiliating your brother-in-law like this? He asked angrily, looking at him while Damien Vance shook his head. Look at your face. If it looks like a brother-in-law from anywhere, then come and hit 10 shoes on my head. Humiliating him in clear words, he inflicted deep pain upon him. You insult me, so I will complain to your sister, Samuel said with a pouting face and purely feminine manner, making Damien's face burst into laughter naturally. Did you not speak just like an erroneous aunt? That is why I call you feminine. Hiding a smile, he spoke, sending him into a deep shock. Do not talk so much nonsense. Come to the estate. Grandmother Eleanor has remembered you and specially sent me to fetch you. Speaking while looking at him, Damien's forehead creased with lines. But my condition is not fulfilled yet. I will not return without completing what I said. Speaking seriously, Samuel also becomes serious. Look, once, all those things are for later, but right now you should come to the estate. Hailey, your sister is missing you and everyone else too. Holding his hand, he spoke in a pleading tone this time, but Damien Vance shook his head in denial. I will not return without completing my promise, but I promise I will come soon. Giving him a comforting reassurance, he spoke, making Samuel's mind click. What do you mean? Did you find her? Samuel's voice was filled with sheer disbelief. At his question, he could only smile charmingly. Swear on me that you found her. Stepping toward him, Samuel spoke in a voice crazy with excitement, making Damien Vance glare at him. Even if I found her, why are you overflowing with joy? Raising an eyebrow, he asked, making him burst into laughter. You will not understand. Just fulfill your promise quickly and come to the estate. Everyone is missing you very much. Making him stand up, he hugged him and spoke, feeling a little sad at the end, while Damien Vance, understanding his state, closed his eyes, controlling himself, and patted his shoulder. Stop it now, you are starting to enjoying it too much. Seeing him continuously clenching to his chest, he spoke mischievously, making Samuel bite his shoulder and step back. You will never stop talking nonsense. Shaking his head in disappointment, he spoke while Damien Vance compressed his lips. Can you leave doing feminine things? No, right? Then how can I leave it? Speaking comfortably, he shifted the whole blame onto him, making him widen his eyes in shock. Do you intend to rob my honor? Seeing him look at him in such a bad way, he tried to cover his chest with both hands, burning Samuel to ashes. I will not spare you to demands. Seeing him continuously making fun of him, he spoke while running behind him. As Damon got caught in laughter, accelerating his pace to stay out of his reach, while behind him Samuel followed him, making the whole office echo with noise, trying to take his life. Between the running and laughter of these two, entire staff was getting crushed while some people was amazed to see this side of their boss, and some were extremely happy that thank goodness he also knew how to laugh. Far away from the noise and bustle of the sitting standing tall amidst lush greenery, that grand Vance estate was an example of its own. It, it was made of white marble and high pillars testified that not an ordinary human, but the Vance family ruled here. Stepping into the vast courtyard of the estate, rows of colorful flowers would be seen on the right side, whose sweet fragrance perfumed the entire environment, while the fountain in the center provided a feeling of peace with its melodic sound. In the main hall of the estate, Grandmother Eleanor sat on a large, magnificent wooden chair. Her white silk attire and properly pinned scarf made her personality even more dignified. Her eyes carried an authority that had the power to guide everyone without speaking. She was slowly turning the heads beads of the rosary in her hand, but her attention was toward the door from where her rebellious grandson was supposed to return. Her role prevailed in the state. After the death of her husband, she had become extremely strict as circumstances had made her very strong. She had three children, Grant Vance, Joseph Vance, and Scott Vance. Grant Vance has two children. The eldest is Damien Vance, who was the uncrowned king of the business world, while the younger daughter was Hailey Vance, who was recently married to her cousin. Next was Joseph Vance, who had an only son, Samuel Vance, who was the same age as Damien, his soul brother as well. His marriage had taken place with Damian's sisters Hailey Vance. Keeping the children's preferences in mind, grandmother Eleanor had performed their marriage. Finally, there was Scott Vance, who had an only daughter, Malia Vance, with whom granddaughter Eleanor wanted Damon Vance to marry, but Damian disagreed with her decision. He wanted to marry according to his own choice, upon which grandmother Eleanor told him not to step into this estate until he brought that girl, to which he agreed. While almost a month had passed, he had not returned towards the estate yet. Grandmother Eleanor Hurd was thinking about without her cherished grandson, but what could she do? She had a deep desire for her grandson's wedding, but he was not coming into her hands, which was why she had set a condition. Who knew that this condition would weigh heavily on her? He was far from them, neither coming home himself nor bringing a bride, which was why she had sent Samuel to fetch him. Has Samuel not returned yet, Hailey? Setting her rosary aside, she asked anxiously, while Hailey, coming from the opposite side, dressed in a light pink gown, looked no less than a princess at this moment. Innocence was on her face and mischief in her eyes as she rapidly descended the stair, reached her and laid her head in her lap. You know, brother, right? Until he finishes work, he will not come. Looking at her as she spoke innocently, grandmother Eleanor pressed her lips together. She knew Haley was right, that boy was not going to come just like that. He does not miss anyone, neither you nor me nor anyone else. This time she spoke, pouting her mouth a little, causing a faint smile to appear on grandmother Eleanor's lip. That is why I am calling his bride. Once the bride arrives, he will forget to go outside altogether. Stroking her head, she spoke secretively, making Hailey's eyes sparkle. Just then, Grant Vance entered with full majesty and splendor. He was an important pillar of this estate, a strict and principled man who managed all affairs of the state with great firmness. His majesty was such that, not to mention servant, even the children of the house did not speak loudly in front of him, except his own offspring, who paid no heed to anything he said. In contrast, his wife, Rebecca Vance, was a quiet natured, refined lady, who stayed busy maintaining the brightness of the estate. Has the child of a donkey not arrived yet? Asking in his usual furious tone, Haley compressed her lips. Father, why are you cursing yourself? She asked with considerable innocence, at which grandmother Eleanor placed her hand on her lips, turning away while the baker emerging from the kitchen giggled as grandfather grew utterly embarrassed. That is not what we meant. Giving a glare toward Hailey, he spoke in a strict tone when the sound of a car horn from outside startled them all. Did brother arrive? Speaking eagerly, Hailey ran towards the outside. But seeing Samuel coming from the front, the smile spread across her lips faded. What happened, my life? Reaching her, he held her against his chest, kissing her forehead with love and asking as he moved his step inside. When seeing his uncle right in front, he immediately released Hallie from his hold. Wonderful, wonderful. One rascal left and is not returning, and another arrive, and think of these mischievous things. Changing his visual angle, he spoke in a tone of seeking forgiveness as he moved his steps towards the man's wing. It was evident that his disobedient nephew had not yet arrived. Explain to your father, darling, that he also brought you into the world by doing these exact mischievous things. It did not get you for free. He speaks as if he himself wears a veil in front of her. Speaking in a burning tone, he forced Hailey to let out a tremendous burst of laughter. Holding her stomach, she kept giggling while grandmother Eleanor, seeing her granddaughter and grandson looking at each other with so much love. COVID not tired of warding off the evil eye. She just wanted to see one such scene of her diamond which she could not see happening right now. But hope kept the world alive. One day or another, she would also see him giggling like this with his wife. With this thought coming to mind, she cast a look at them, whispered praise to God, and grabbed her rosary again. Regarding Damien, she knew that whatever stubbornness her grandson stood upon, he would not turn back without completing it. But she did not know that this time Damien Van's stubbornness was not a business or land but an incantress. Weather was extremely bad and she was alone at home at this moment. Her aunt and the three children had gone to their maternal grandfather's house, but due to the stormy weather they were staying there for now. Sitting idle, she was watching this stormy rain as black dark clouds stood like an enraged lion in the sky. Outside, stormy winds rolled, slamming the window shutters mercilessly. Sitting idle, her heart was sinking too. I should wash the dishes. Thinking in her heart, she took the name of God and moved towards the kitchen. Now she stood in the kitchen washing dishes peacefully. The sound of stormy winds still fell upon her ears, for now there was some peace on her fair hands. Soap Stars were applied and signs of fatigue were clear on her face. She wanted to sleep, but in this stage, sleep would never come to her. She had just washed and placed the last plate when suddenly someone kicked open the main door of the house with immense force. Her soul departed for a moment. It seems Uncle has arrived. Thinking in her heart, she washed her hands, dried them with a scarf, and moved her steps outside when seeing her uncle right in front of her soul perished once again. He was heavily intoxicated, trembling inside. Maya, hey Maya, where have you died? Come with me. He spoke in a drunk, stumbling manner, with a filthy voice so full of rage that Maya's heart sank inside. Her chest in his voice was that specific heavy tone that comes only in a state of intoxication. Seeing the scene in front of her, hands and feet were turning cold as Uncle Arthur's eyes were red like blood, and taking support off the walls, he was advancing towards her. Uncle, are you all right? Terrified, she stepped 2 steps back. Today, for the first time, she felt fear of her uncle. She was about to run from there, but before she could regain composure and take a step, Uncle Arthur pounced and grabbed her arm so mercilessly that a sky-shattering scream escaped her mouth. You show a lot of tantrums, do you know? Come with me. Today I got a bet and you will have to come with me. Today I will pay off all my debts. As he dragged her along in the stormy rain, Maya's heart began to stop. She was resisting fiercely, but even in his drunken state, he was heavy upon her delicate frame. He was dragging her outside while she kept screaming, Leave me, uncle, fear God, I am like your daughter, please leave me, please. She understood from his word what he wanted. Right then her heart jumped into her throat. Her body was becoming lifeless. Was he going to sell her? As this thought occurred, her soul was departing. She was squirming, but devil was riding on Uncle Arthur's head. When he forcefully tried to pull her out of the house, Maya's eyes fell on a heavy vase lying nearby. The longing to live and fear for her owner gave her courage, and the very next moment she pounced, picked up the vase, and struck it on his head with full force. A fountain of blood erupted from Uncle Arthur's head, and holding his head, he collapsed right there. Maya, without wasting a single moment, ran outside barefoot. Outside, rain was keeping guard. Heavy drops soaked her body, forcing her to shiver. But her uncle's voice coming from behind was feeding the fear inside her. Running like crazy, she reached the wall of that same large bungalow. Today she had no other choice. Oh God, help me. Please save me. Weeping, she climbed the wall with great difficulty and entered inside. The last time she climbed this wall, she had decided never to cross it again, but fear of autumn makes a human do everything and was making her do it too. Darkness was so thick that nothing was visible to her. Stumbling through the balcony route, she entered straight into the same room from which she had flew a few days ago. The room where she had sworn never to return. Inside was completely silence and darkness with only the flash of lightning coming through the window, occasionally illuminating the room. Maya's entire body was trembling, sensing someone's presence on the bed. She then put panting into the bed, crawled under the blanket, and plunged straight to the chest of the figure lying there. Damien West, who was in deep sleep, suddenly felt the cold and wet touch of a body on his chest and wake up, startled. His hand went to the bedside lamp with lightning speed, and the next moment the room was bathed in dim light. He looked in astonishment at the figure clenching to him, completely soaked. Who is it? His harsh, deep, and commanding voice echoed. But as his eyes fell on this little girl attached to his chest, who was clutching to his shirt in her fist and weeping bitterly, his eyes widened in disbelief. Enchantress? He spoke in disbelief as Maya raised her tear-stained face to look at him with endless fear in her innocent eyes. Please, save me. Save me, he would kill me. My uncle, he is outside. Please do not let me go. Hiding her head in his chest, she began weeping with hiccups. Because of her wet clothes, Damien's own body was also getting wet. But at this moment, he did not care about that. Quietly, completely quiet. Hearing her weeping, he spoke some words sternly, so Maya choked her words, though her hiccups still echoed in the room. Stay quiet. I told you, nobody will come here. This is my empire. Here you are safe. Damien tightened the circle of his arms around her trembling body. His heart, which also remained hard like a stone, was melting like wax, seeing the girl's condition. Now tell me what happened. Which uncle? Who dared to touch you? Seeing her calm down, he began asking in a cold tone. His tone had now become cold and bloodthirsty. Stroking Maya's hair, he began hiding her within himself. While Maya also found such peace and protection in his bare arms and the warmth of his chest that no one had ever given her till today. He is drunk. He was forcefully taking me away. He was saying he would pay off all debts today by giving me away. Weeping, she told him everything. She told him every single thing except her name. While Damien Vance, listening to the whole story from her mouth, was now patting her head with blood-filled eyes fixed on the floor. If the girl had not come here today, who knows where she would have ended up. His veins were about to burst with anger, but he said, controlling himself. She was weeping as Damien pulled her face back a little and looked into her eyes while his thumb wiped the tear on Maya's cheek. Now you are under the protection of Damien Vance. Now leave aside your uncle, even that will think 100 times before stepping here. He spoke in a decisive tone and lay down again with Maya held close to him, knowing that this girl could become trouble for him. But he also knew that now he would not be able to distance her from himself. Maya did not know him yet. In his man's embrace, she felt peace while Damien intended to leave from here, taking her after, deciding her fate in the morning. Now that the wait was only for the morning, who knew what next trouble the next day was going to bring for her? The next morning, sun had risen with all its brilliance, but for Maya, this light was going to bring a new storm instead of peace. Damien Vance had protected this innocent soul all night. As soon as Maya opened her eyes and found herself in the strong grip of an unfamiliar man, her hands and feet grew cold. She quickly got off the bed and began arranging her scattered hair. Every scene of the night was flashing in her mind. What if she had not come here at night? Such a hurry to leave. Seeing her swift movement, Damien's deep voice echoed in the room. He had been awake for a long time, lying with an arm under his head, examining her every expression. Maya lowered her eyes in a shame that touch and protection of the night was still remembered by her. I have to go home. Aunt must have arrived. She spoke in a deep, faint voice, so Damien took a deep breath and got off the bed. Taking a deep breath, he put on his shirt lying nearby and came to stand near. Maya, I will drop you off. And I also have to settle accounts with your uncle, Who knows whether your aunt has arrived or not? His words had weight while his tone carried such majesty that Maya could not refuse, even if she wanted to. As soon as the two of them entered the courtyard of Maya's small house, Aunt Sarah stood there filled with rage. With her was Uncle Arthur, whose head was wrapped in a bandage. Seeing Maya with a stranger in such a handsome man, poison descended into Aunt Sarah's eyes. For now, no one else was seen in the house, which meant that those people had not arrived. Also, this is the true nature of the royal princess. Where have you been ruining your face all night? Aunt Sarah shouted, grabbing Maya's arm, then jerking it so hard that tears came to Maya's eyes as her tight grip. She was just about to say something when Aunt Sarah burst out again. We thought of keeping you like a daughter. What had we not thought I would make you my son's bride, but you turn out to be completely shameless. Thinking of your father's property, the man you have chased behind will not yield even a broken penny. As for your father, he would be feeling ashamed even in his grave, seeing your deeds. Get out of my house right now. Filling her tone and words with poison, she poured darkness into Maya's ear, attempting to push Maya out, but before she could even touch her, a strong hand locked Aunt Sarah's wrist right in midair. Watch out. Watch out if you even touch her. I will cut your hand off and rip it out from the roots. Damien Ben's roar shook the entire house. His face was turning bright red from the intensity of rage. Aunt Sarah's color faded completely while Uncle Arthur, who had already backed away seeing Damien's grand authority, now began trembling properly. Who are you to call her shameless? This girl was safe with me all night because her own uncle wanted to bargain away her owner. Damien cast a contemptuous look at Uncle Arthur, who immediately avoided his eyes. Mind your tongue, boy. This is a matter of our home. Aunt Sarah tried to gather herself and speak, but hearing her words of venomous, a smile surfaced on Damien's face. The very next moment, matter of home? An aunt who wants to latch her orphan niece onto her useless son just to usurp her property? And an uncle who loses her in gambling. You call this her home? Even though you people have no right over her. Damien took Maya's hand and pulled her behind him at his action. Maya's heart pounded forcefully at his protection. I am taking her with me, and if you people try to make any wrong move, then you will not find anyone worse than me. I hold the power to put your husband behind bars right now, but I come giving one chance. If you come to my estate as our family, I will give respect, but if you conspire against her and come punish between us, I will give punishment. Emphasizing every single word, he walked out from there, taking Maya with him. Goodbye. Casting a glance at all of them, he walked out holding Maya's hand in his while Maya was astonished seeing this sight of him. She knew Damien as a very gentle person. She was realizing only now that he possessed such anger. Within a short while their car was speeding down the city roads while Maya did not even have enough strength to ask him where he was taking her. But one thing she knew was that she was completely safe with this man. A man could sit holding her by his side all night and pass the night without saying anything wrong could never be wrong for her. Resting peacefully against the seat, she was busy looking at the scenery outside while Damien, looking at her serene face, was inwardly thinking about the reaction of the people at the estate. Surely seeing his wife at the estate, everyone's mouth was bound to pop upon at least once because she was much younger than him in age, but he cared for no one. Having accepted this girl as his own at first sight, there was no justification to step back now. So forgetting everything else, he began focusing all his attention comfortably on driving while Maya, oblivious to his thought, was thinking about her cousins. Who knew whether she would never be able to meet them all again or not? Who knew whether Aunt would never ever forgive her or not? Who knew what kind of environment she was heading into? Several questions were racing in her mind, but she could not get answers right now, so silently watching the sights outside, she brushed every thought away. And then in these years, a lot had changed. A few years ago, when he took Maya to the estate, that very evening, grandmother Eleanor, without any protest, had performed his marriage with Maya. She said that a grandson had come into her hand with great difficulty. She did not want to let this opportunity to go as quickly as possible. She had their marriage solemnized a while after the marriage when Maya turned 19. Her formal departure to live together was completed. As for what else unchanged in these years, Uncle Arthur had passed away, after which Aunt Sarah was left alone. Facing distress from all sides, she reached Damien's estate. Asking for forgiveness from Maya and him, she requested help, and hearing about her uncle's death, Maya wept bitterly while seeing her state. She asked Damien to help them, upon which Damien shifted them into his bungalow. Meanwhile, he gave Zack a good job in his office, for which Aunt Sarah was going to remain grateful for the rest of her life. He occasionally kept visiting their home with Maya, where she always welcomed Maya like her own daughter, while Damien acting in the capacity of an elder brother to Hannah and Chloe had also arranged their marriages in very good places. Aunt Sarah could not tire of thanking God who had given them such a good son-in-law. Meanwhile, after consulting with them, me and Maya transferred all her property to Aunt Sarah's name, at which she remained stunned for several moments. The property she had made many evil attempts to usurp was to the place in her life only one good deed of theirs. The atmosphere of the estate represented the scene of a magical dream. Yellow light installed everywhere were shining like pearls in the evening dusk. That same eternal banter between Hailey and Samuel was still continuing, but now a tiny presence existed between them, in the form of Ermagan, who was lifting the whole courtyard over his head with his mischief. He picked him up too. He is not my child alone. Hailey could call out in a loud voice, coming out of the kitchen. So Samuel, who has running behind Armagan, slammed the brakes and stopped right there. Wife, he is not my child alone, he is your child too. And just look, he was gone completely after you. Does not sit still for a moment. Therefore you handle him. Samuel replied, panting and exhaustion from running behind him. So grandmother Eleanor, sitting on their chair, watching all this, burst into laughter naturally. There was no strictness in her eyes anymore, but rather a strange peace, if she was watching all the prayers of her life being accepted. Meanwhile, far away on the balcony, cool gusts of wine were brushing past Maya's face. She was smiling, charm-filled, looking at the hustle and bustle going on below when suddenly two strong arms wrapped around her from behind into an embrace. Startled, Maya looked back to see Damien was smiling in his characteristic charming manner. He lowered his face near Maya's neck, where the enchanting fragrance of her hair was mesmerizing him. Whenever I see you on the balcony, I remember something. As Damien's deep voice dissolved like honey into Maya's ears, she turned bright red with embarrassment while a captivating smile spread across her lips. She knew what was he talking about. Turning around, she placed both her hands on Damien's broad chest and looked into his eyes, where an ocean of love was searching purely for her. Do you still remembering all that? Looking into his eyes, she asked in a soft tone and smiled. There was no fear in Maya's tone, but rather a feeling of trust. Damien raised her chin with his finger and imprinted the seal of his love on her forehead. How can I forget? How can I forget that day when you called me hot? Speaking while suppressing a smile, he teased her at which Maya punched his chest out of embarrassment. Speaking while suppressing a smile, he teased her at which Maya punched his chest out of embarrassment. It just come out of my mouth. She was reminding him while Damien burst into laughter. He found this girl immensely adorable. He could not express to her that he could lose many listed this skin. The silence of the night was knocking on the doors and walls of the estate. Dim light was spread in the room, making the atmosphere even more romantic. Maya was sitting on the bed, busy embroidering a tiny, soft, delicate dress. There was a special kind of glow on her face, bestowed by the feeling of becoming a mother. Suddenly opening the room door, Damien Vance entered inside with his characteristic handsome personnel. He had opened the top two buttons of his shirt and running his finger through his hair to come and sat right next to Maya. Are you still awake, Enchantress? The doctor told you to rest, did they not? Turning her face toward himself, he spoke while mild annoyance, taking the dress from her hand, touching it to his lips and placing it to one side while Maya looked at him, smiling with eyes devoted to her husband. Am I looking extra handsome? Leaning towards her, he asked Maya, blinked her eyelashes and nodded her head. Seeing her head nod in agreement, he captured her lips and began showering his intensity upon her. After showering intensity on her lips for a few moments, he dominated her neck, clamping the skin of her neck between his lips and leaving marks everywhere. He forced her to feel shy. Whenever he started loving her, he loved like this, moving from her neck to placing his lips over her heartbeat and feeling them thoroughly. He shifted his lips beneath her shirt into her, where a tiny life was breathing when suddenly Maya let out a scream as she felt a kick. Hearing her scream, he burst into laughter while Maya glared angrily at him as he laughed charmingly. My princess is already dominating a mama. Placing his lips all over her abdomen, he made her giggle as well. Maya's entire body began glowing from his warm touch. She placed both her hands on Damien's bare chest where his heart was beating rapidly. Tell me and leave it. What are you doing? She asked shyly, so Damien felt utterly devoted to her. I am loving my wife. Is it any crime? As Damien leaned near her ear and whispered sensation ran through Maya's body. Rubbing the tip of his nose against Maya's cheek, he intoxicated her as Maya involuntarily closed her eyes. At this moment in Damien's embrace, she was finding that peace she had always longed for. Damien raised her chin with his finger and looked into her eyes where there was endless love purely for her. He gently touched Maya's lip with his own, a touch that was pure and full of passion. You know what, Maya, you have taught me how to live. I cannot wait for when our little reflection will be in our arms. He kissed Maya's forehead and lay down on the bed, holding her close to him. Maya rested her head against his strong shoulder in the darkness of the night. The rhythm of their breaths was becoming one where only love ruled and the fragrance of an incoming new life was performing the entire room. The journey of distance and bitterness had now arrived at a destination where only peace, love, and a prosperous future awaited them. The end.